Hey, y'all. Hey, YouTube, Facebook, whoever will be watching, wherever you will be watching. Today is a very special conversation because I'm sitting down with my biological sister. We're going to talk about our story, our family, our journey, and the things we have experienced both together and apart. Welcome, Terry, Terry,
Hello.
Terry
Hello, all.
Johnson. Yeah. I've been this is a moment that I've been waiting for a very long time, and I'm sure those who do know our family, they've been expecting this too for a while. So we're honored to have you. We're going to have some fun today with these questions, and about to go in.
Amen.
So so we have quite a few questions. How are you feeling today,
I'm
sis?
good.
Feeling pretty good.
Awesome. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we're just gonna jump right on in. Uh, so one of our first questions is, what was your first impression of me growing up?
My first impression of you growing up was that you were the boss. you were very strong-willed. Um, you knew what you wanted, and you would go after what you wanted, whatever it was. As a
as a ch-
young,
as as a
yes,
child.
yes,
That's funny.
yes.
Okay. Um. Okay. And then, so what role did you play in the family, sis?
Well, I was the baby, so I wouldn't really say I played a role. I just was the baby.
Okay. So just to give a little backstory where we all come from, just so the viewers will understand the conversation where we're going with it. We
Uh-huh.
um it's four siblings, um, two brothers, and then myself and my sister, and we grew up in the Midwest. And um I what was it? I think I was 16 before we moved out here to California, and our brother was 15 and you were
Yes.
14. And
14.
then our
Yes.
oldest brother was probably 19. I think he had been graduated by the time we moved out here. So we're going to just talk about our childhood and just go through the phases of life and have some fun here.
Yes.
Okay. So you were the baby. You were the youngest of the four. How did
Yes.
it feel being the baby?
It was good. It was, I wouldn't I was spoiled. I was a brat, you know. I was very demanding. I knew what I liked as well, and I would go after what I wanted.
Hmm.
Um our mother, she catered to me because I was the baby. And I took advantage of that, of course.
So that was your role.
The baby, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
in its fullest form. I knew I was the baby, and I acted accordingly.
That's funny. Um, so how else were you as a child besides a brat?
Um,
What was you like?
well, in terms of, I guess I was a leader. You could call me a leader, because I had my cousin Tina. We were tight, and then I had my best friend Anna, and we grew up together, and went to church together. And outside of church, I always had them at my joint, at my place, at my home, our home. Um, and we would go to the store. I would have a itinerary, for us to, yeah. We would rock and roll. We would walk to the store, and I knew what we were gonna get. We'd get our little snacks, our little candy, our chips, our soda, and I just was kind of. It was like a structured type of thing with me. That's what I would say. Very structural with me. You know, everything had to be in a certain type of order for me. Tina and Anna, I think, could vouch for that. That I was kind of structural. I knew what I wanted to do, and including them. And it was never the three of us together. It was just either me with Tina or me with Anna. But at the end of the day, I like stuff to be set up the way I liked it to be. I guess I was probably controlling. You can call that controlling. Because I wanted it to be a certain type of way. But we had fun. We would come back to the place, to our home, and go upstairs. Our room was upstairs, and we would go upstairs and play. And we made songs. Not Tina and I, but Anna and I made songs together because our background was singing. So I came up with a couple of songs, me and her best friend type of songs, and we would sing and laugh and just have a good time as children.
So our family was pretty structured. The household we had both parents, and so they were pretty. Mainly, our dad was pretty demanding and expected certain things out of us.
Yeah.
And so, what was one thing we struggled with growing up?
I would say freedom. Freedom to be children.
How did that look?
Um, we didn't we weren't allowed to go to our games. If our schools had games, things of that nature, we couldn't. We weren't allowed to go. It was like I felt like we had to. Our father expected us to be examples. You know, to other people watching us. So there were certain things that he was very strict. There were certain things he didn't allow us to take part in. So one thing I will say, Lisa, we entertained ourselves. The four
We
of us,
did.
we entertained ourselves. We may not have been a part of the parties and stuff like that. I actually, I honor my father and my mother because they kept us out of a lot of trouble. I will say, they were strict, but I feel like we ended up okay. You know.
That is true. Okay, I could add a little bit to that, but I won't.
Mm.
Uh, okay, so we're going to talk about our family dynamics, and so this should be really interesting.
Uh huh.
Being a baby of the family, the youngest, and that role being spoiled and catered to by your
Yeah.
mom, our mother rather. Did you ever feel misunderstood in our family at all?
No, that never. I never looked at being or feeling misunderstood because I got my way. I got my way, so I don't think I had that moment of feeling misunderstood. I think that applies as adulthood, in our adulthood. I would say
Okay.
I felt that. Yeah.
What about how did you feel, or should I question it like this? Was there ever a family moment um that changed you the most? So let me ask that question one more time.
Uh
What
huh.
family moment changed you the most?
What family moment? I, I would have to say that applies to my adulthood. Um, when I ended up getting together with my now ex-husband, Carl Montgomery Sr. Um, when he and I got together and we were courting each other, dating each other, I know that my mother really didn't take to him because she felt like he took me away from her. So he didn't get the fairest of treatment. you know, to the point even it extended to you guys, siblings, you know, and it was like I felt like it was me and him against the world. You guys were the world,
Mm.
and I felt like, yeah, I felt like he wasn't accepted. That's how I felt, and so me being very strong-willed and wanting what I want and liking what I like and unapologetic about it. I didn't care. It was like I cared in the sense that you guys were my family and I wanted you to accept who I was into and who my heart was. My heart had. He had my heart. Um, but there's that other side of me, that strong side and that stubborn side that said, I don't give a flying fig what they like or don't like. This is who I want to be with, so this is what it's going to be. And I was willing to kind of walk away, to be honest. I was kind of willing to walk away. So I would say it changed me to see that, I'm an independent person and what I like is what I like. And so my family has to agree or maybe disagree, but not, it doesn't need to be displayed if you don't like it. You just have to roll with the punches. That's how I felt. And that's adulthood, not childhood. I'm kind of moving ahead a little bit.
You are. You are. That's a good answer. So with that being said, and kind of like um piggybacking off of that question, what
Hmm.
or was there pain or trauma in our family people didn't see?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was pain and trauma in our family, and I think each individual, us four children, we can individually speak on the traumas we experienced in our childhood, maybe even adulthood. Yeah.
Mm. Is there anything you want to speak on? The pain or the trauma?
Um, I will
Your
say
your
I'll touch
your
on it.
pain, or your pain or your trauma,
Right,
not no one else's.
right. I can't speak on y'all. So with me, um, I would have to say I don't want to go into detail because it's not necessary, but I'll just throw it out there. The molestation. I was molested, and that was traumatizing when you become an adult and you realize what it was that happened to you. And I felt like I was uncovered. I felt like I was unprotected. As an adult, looking back in hindsight of what had happened to me, I felt like I was uncovered. I felt like it happened under the noses of my parents, unfortunately, because it happened with a family member, a close family member. So I felt like it happened under our parents' nose and really was nothing that I can remember as a child. I don't remember things being done about it. That's, you know,
Yeah, it was pretty tough because just recalling growing up in our household and our parents were heavily involved in the church,
yeah,
be it pastoring, counseling members, having meetings, having Bible studies, and traveling. They were also involved in music. So they
yeah,
were our dad, he played the keys, and our mother was a minister of music in the state of Iowa for 13 years. So they were just busy. And then they had their outside jobs,
right.
that
Full
kept
time
them.
at that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
So I just do recall times when they needed someone to babysit us. And things happen in those times and those moments. And
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
so um Terry, what do you think shaped us
Yes,
into who we are today?
everything that we've gone through, our hills and valleys, everything that life threw at us made us who we are because we're here to testify about it. We're here to tell people about it, and we're not shattered. God has kept us. He's kept our minds. He's kept our spirits. We are strong. We've always been strong-willed, strong-minded people. Thank God. He made us that way. And then our parents attribute that as well, but
Yeah.
individually, we're strong. And thanks to God, our foundation, we were brought up in the church. We grew up to admonish and to honor God. We may not have done it, until we did it, but nonetheless, it was instilled in us, and so that's my stabilization, if you will, is Christ in my life. You know, that's why I am where I am today. I will say Christ in my life.
Yeah, I have to say that, I was doing an interview with dad and I told him, I said, it took the last 5 years for me to really learn you and understand who you are. And as we were growing up, it
Yeah.
wasn't all that easy, because when
Right.
it basically was instruction and we couldn't ask questions, but we just had to listen and do and be
Right.
quiet and those things. And
Right.
so when there's
No
not
voice.
much conversation, yes, when there's not much conversation, then what is there to understand? What is there to learn? And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So I was able to share that with him, and it's something to be said, to be able to understand your parents as you grow up. And I learned, in
Right.
short, and then I'll move on to the next question, that what I learned about him, there was, so what shaped him is how he grew us up as well. So some of the
Yeah.
things that he may have missed out on, or whatever his life looked like, was shaped like, then, it kind of ran over
Was
to
impressed on us. Right.
him, yes, building his family.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
this is good, sis. Good conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, we're moving on. Let's see. Let's talk about our sisterhood, our relationship. How would you
Mhm.
describe our relationship over the years?
Um, I would say just maturing. It's just it has taken on many shapes, if you will, many shapes and sizes. Um, but nonetheless, we've always been tight. We've always been close. Um, I feel like we had to have each other through the things that we've experienced in life, from childhood up to even now, our adulthood. We've had to have each other. And even that has been a little tough because we're all spread apart. You know,
Mm,
everybody that knows us knows we're in California. We all are spread apart, have our different lives and stuff. So it's been a little tough for us to really, really be jailed like we really, really would like to be. But we're still there. We're still there for each other. It could be better though. It's always room for growth.
mm. What hurt you the most in our relationship, if if there was any hurt at all? What hurt you the most?
Um, I would have to say, and that would be adulthood, of course. I would have to say, I felt there were times within our relationship dynamic that I felt like you maybe didn't understand me totally as an adult, because we're structured, or we have a pattern, or however we are as children, and then we evolve, we change, and we become adults, so we don't act the way there's still character traits that we'll always have, because that's just who we are as individuals, but still we do change, we do evolve. And I just think there's been times in our adulthood where I felt like maybe you didn't understand me, completely.
Oh, and that hurt you? Did
It
that hurt
it
you?
did because of a certain, yeah, because of certain results.
Okay.
Certain things that I did, certain things that I did because I felt like you didn't understand me with certain situations. Might have been drastic, but there's a lot of things with me. I think maybe you didn't understand me with how I see certain things, how I move certain times, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's sometimes you feel like I don't care, and it's couldn't be more further from that. You know,
Yeah,
there's
I'll
moments.
correct you. I'll correct you.
Go ahead.
That ain't true. Well, that's not correct. That's
Okay.
not. Yeah. Of
I mean, I'm not going to discuss what it was. What
of course not.
there's only been, yes, there's only been there's only been one moment where there's been like a separation period between you and I. That was hurtful, and I'm not going into detail because it's everything shouldn't be, people shouldn't be privy to everything. You know.
Well, we know. We know. So
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not, you're my sister and I love you dearly. And whether we have differences or not, it's not a deal breaker because we're sisters, we're family,
mhm.
we'll always be that. God put that together where it is. You know what I'm saying? They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. It's true. This is who God ordained us to be, is family, bloodline. You know, we came through Pearl Geraldine Johnson, Martin Johnson. We came through her womb, the seed of our father, Andrew Edward Johnson Sr. Those are our parents. That was God ordained. We came through that channel, right? So we can't choose
Yes.
our family members, but we can choose our friends. So it's not a deal breaker. We should be able to, family should be able to have their differences of opinion. That's what makes us individuals. That's what separates us from each other and other people, is we're our own individual, you know? And that's a good thing. Imagine us all being the same. Wouldn't life be boring? Not
It
that I'm
would be.
boring, not even that you're boring, but it would be boring, right?
It would.
So
Two of us. If it were two of us, one of us would be necessary.
that part, that part right there. So it's not a deal breaker because we're different or we have differences of opinions, things of that nature. You know,
So
I
what
still
brought
love
us
you.
back together? Uh-oh, we're overlapping.
Talking. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We can go there. Talking. Communication is key. Understanding, walking away and being able to understand what just was said or what just happened. And a lot of times people think that conversation has to be drastic. It has to be confrontation is also it's healthy. It doesn't have to be bad. And
Mhm.
every issue you have with people that are important to you, you got to confront issues
That's
so
true.
that you can get an understanding. I don't want to second guess or think, oh, what did she mean by that, or what did he mean by that, or No, let's talk about it and get an understanding. Even if we agree to disagree, we still understand. I'm walking away from you, and I understand where you came from, where you're at, and vice versa.
What does sisterhood mean to you now?
Um, Being able to I know who you are. You know who I am. We are joined at the hip, and then there's moments where we're not going to be joined at the hip. Just respect, understanding each other, loving on each other, no matter what, unconditional love, and being there for each other, no matter what.
Hmm. Being sisters, sometimes it's hard to really say how you really feel or what you really mean. And so, has there ever been anything that you have always wanted to say to me? And it might have been
Mm,
difficult, or maybe you thought I wouldn't understand, as you expressed earlier.
when we had that one situation, it was. I felt like I had it to. I felt like I had to protect you from your feelings being hurt. That's how I felt with what we went through. And so a lot of time, and that's not good in the fact that I held it in. It's not good to hold stuff in ever. You just have to pray and ask God to word your mouth and season your words with grace, because just because you need to express yourself, express your heart, it could come out a little different. And I don't ever want it to be where what I have to say, I have to say it. I need to say it. I need to get it out of my system. But I want it to be an understanding. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, where my stance is. You know what I mean? And not meaning it's not coming. I'm not saying this to hurt you, but I'm saying this from my experience with you, from that standpoint. You get me? I,
Hmm.
and I want it to be where you walk away understanding, not saying, "Well, I still don't get it. I still don't." Man, no. Let's get back at it if we need to or if we have to. Because
Hmm.
I don't want it to be where it's still some static. I like good energy. I don't like static. I really don't. I'm that type of person. And I know everything's not going to be hunky dory all the time. That's unrealistic. Just period. We're human beings and we emote, but I still want it to be where we're able to talk about any and everything. Everything. How you made me feel if you said this, that, and the third. How I made you feel if I said this, that, and the third. What I did that maybe you didn't agree with made you squirm in your seat, or vice versa. We still should be able to talk it out so we understand. Walking away from each other, we understand.
Um, can you name one thing that you appreciate about your sister today?
That you're very loving. You're very giving of yourself, of your time. You know, yes, you're very nurturing, and that's to everybody. You have a nurturing spirit about yourself that I believe is innate because you was like that when you were a child. You're very bossy, yes, but I think that was from the place of I just want to take care of you. You were like that with everybody. I want to take care of you, Lisa. That's who you were.
Okay. I'll take the bossiness. I'll slide it in with maybe assertive.
No, you were bossy, my love.
Oh, okay, my dear. All right. So we're gonna move on. What was one of the hardest seasons of your life, Terry?
Mm, man, I would have to say the area of separation and going into divorce. That was the
Mm,
hardest part of my life.
wow.
Yeah. But it was an experience that, again, had a lot to do with where I am today. Because had it not happened, I wouldn't know me like I know me right now.
What
I
would
will say that.
that difficult time, how did you survive emotionally
Oh my
during?
God. Going to God. I'm the type of person, and I know that's one of the things that you probably didn't understand about me and probably still don't understand about me, but it's part of my makeup. I'm the type of person that likes to be by myself and filter through everything by myself. And then I can bring you guys in. Then I can talk to you guys. But I got to
Mhm.
deal with me first. I don't like a pity party type of thing. I don't like, oh, I don't like all of that. I don't like all that. I got to filter through. I got to feel it. I got to set in it. I got to set in my feelings what I'm dealing with. And I talk to God about everything. God, I need you to show me. the root of it. I need to know why I allowed this. I need to know why I did this. I need to know more about me. So it was God. God kept me. God held me in the palm of his hand. And while I had to do everything I had to do to get all the, all my emotions, all that out, he helped me. He helped walk me through it.
What
He
lessons
helped
came
walk me
out of your
through it.
pain?
I would say learning who I am as an individual, learning what I want and what I don't want, what I tolerate, what I don't tolerate, what I deserve, what I don't deserve. That's what I learned. And I also learned to stand on my own 2 feet. That's what I learned
Wow.
as well.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. But a good thing too. Because you made it out, you made it through, and you're looking good on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, what would you tell the younger version of yourself?
Mm. Oh my goodness. Whatever you do, wait. What's the rush? Wait. Get what you need to get. Get the tools you need to get. Get everything you need to get. Get to know you. Get to know you. Because how do you know what you want if you don't know you? How do you even know what you want? How do you even know what you deserve? How do you know your worth
That's
if you don't know you?
mm,
A lot of us, a lot of women jump into stuff, and I gotta watch. A lot of times we think we want certain things, and we jump in, we do it prematurely, and it's for all the wrong reasons. It's like we think we want something outside of ourselves, and we can give. If we have Christ in our lives, if we have Christ in our heart, we have God in our heart. We already have everything we need. We don't need anything outside of us to validate us. We can validate ourselves. I look at it that our parents were supposed to validate us as children to start us on. But if we didn't get it, guess what? We do it as adults for ourselves. That's what we do.
mhm.
That's what I
Yeah,
did.
that's good. We could hang our hat on that, but we would be here all day. So we're gonna move to the next question.
Absolutely.
That's another
Absolutely.
conversation for a whole nother day.
Man, man.
So
Yeah.
what do you think people misunderstand about healing?
That they need to rush it. That they need to rush it. A lot of times you just need to be patient with yourself and get the healing that you need to get so that you're better for yourself in the now and in the future, and that you're better for whoever you have to be around. Because they have to deal with you and your stinky stuff. And it's not fair. It's not fair. You end up projecting, and people feel what you're dealing with, and you're projected it on them. It's not fair. So deal with you.
That's good.
Deal with you. Get your healing first. So it takes patience. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Because at the end of the day, what's the rush? God gives time to us. He works
Mm,
outside of time, but He gives it to us. So take the time to heal. It's okay.
mm,
It's okay to be by yourself. That way you get to know yourself. What's the rush getting into something? You can't be by yourself? That's an issue. It is. It's an issue. Go on and heal. Be healed. And be set free, as they would say in the church.
mm.
Be healed and be set free.
So the next few questions can be kind of rough here. I don't know. You a tough customer over there. So we're gonna roll with it. Um and we're gonna talk about some moments, some raw and real moments
Uh-huh.
that may have taken place in your life. So um did you ever feel abandoned, rejected, or alone?
Yeah. Yes, yes, and yes.
What did abandonment look like for you?
starts from babyhood. Let's let's back up from childhood and go to babyhood. Um, I know this might sound like a surprise, but I remember being in my baby bed. What they call the baby bed? It's a name. It's not called baby bed, but I remember being in that baby bed, and I remember my mother. I felt like she's getting ready to leave me. I felt it, you guys. This is real. Felt like she was getting ready to leave me, and I knew where she was going. I knew she was going to my auntie's. My aunt Geneva. She was like a house in between. There was a house that separated us from their house, and I knew that's where she was going, to her sister's house. And I feel like I saw her walk into the door, and I started crying. And mommy, don't leave. I remember this. Mommy, please don't leave. Don't leave, mommy. Mommy, don't leave. And I felt then like, man, I was sad and I was screaming and hollering and crying. I was a brat too, yes. But I was screaming and crying and hollering. And at that point, I feel like going into childhood, a little older than just a little toddler in the baby bed, that started that moment of feeling like why is she leaving me if I would feel like why if I'm calling my mom's name, why is she not attending to me? Why I felt like why are they more important? What why are they what's so important for you to go over there? Why can't you attend to me? So that's where abandonment started for me, I would say, in all honesty. Might sound
Wow.
crazy, but it's real. It's my experience.
Yeah,
Started
it
early.
is. Mm-hmm.
It started early, you know, feeling abandoned by my mother because I was so tight. I was so close with my mother. I was the baby, but I was close to my mother, and I didn't want her leaving me, and I didn't want to leave her side. It was like that type of dynamic. And I remembered it being that little girl in that baby bed, and I could tell you what I had on. But it's real. That's where that started. The abandonment.
What about rejection?
Um,
Did you ever feel rejected?
with the family,
Well, I wouldn't
no,
say, I
I
wouldn't
can't say me.
necessarily, I would broaden that, not just with the family, just in life.
Okay. Okay. I'll say with Carl divorce because Carl divorced me. Those that don't know of us getting divorced, we've been divorced since 2019, and Carl divorced me. I didn't divorce him. He petitioned for the divorce. But on the other side of that spectrum, because I did feel the rejection. But the healed Terry realizes that that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Actually,
Okay.
I,
Uh,
I've never felt I've never felt a freedom that I feel today.
okay. So it had to do with divorce. And what about you ever feeling alone?
Nah, no, not feeling alone. Don't I don't remember ever experiencing that feeling, childhood or even now. Feeling alone, no. I've never
So
felt alone. I've been alone, but not feeling alone.
with with all of those changes, divorce, even before divorce, growing up,
Uh huh.
just in reflection, was there ever a moment you thought life would never get better?
I would say in the marriage union, I felt like that.
Okay, okay,
I did
okay,
within my relationship, my marriage relationship. Yeah,
okay. Were you ever broken emotionally?
I wouldn't say broken. I wouldn't go that far to say broken. Um, but I just will say it was a hard experience. It was a harsh experience. But to say broken, no, I wouldn't go that far.
So never in
Because
your life
I've
you've
never. I'm sorry.
so never throughout never there's never been a time throughout your life where you've ever felt emotionally broken. And I'm not specifically targeting or talking about
No,
your okay. All right. And so what, through all the brokenness or okay, so if you haven't been ever broken, then I can't even ask you this next question. So we're going to go to the next question. Have you ever
okay,
experienced betrayal from family or friends?
yeah,
Did you want to talk
yeah,
about it?
betrayal from family.
I don't know what happened to her, guys. Can you hear me,
Ooh,
Terry?
what happened?
Just continue talking. I don't see your face, but continue talking. It might be your connection.
Wait,
Uh,
you you sound distorted right now. What do I do?
you might want to drop down and come back up. You could drop out and request back up.
I can't. I can't. I can't decipher what you're saying. Can you hear me? Because I can't decipher what you're saying.
So give me a second, YouTube. We're gonna pause for station of identification. We're having some technical um, issues right now, so bear with us, guys. Just bear with us, guys. Have to bring her back up. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation here. Um, this is a platform where we are trying our best to be truthful, to be honest. That's what THEE stands for. It is an acronym and actually interchangeable words. Um, so again, we are um, We're going to try our best to be speak truthfully, speak our truth in honesty, and express all of our experiences. And a lot of times conversations like this are pretty hard, but they're needed when it comes to people who we love and who we cherish. I am going to um, end the stream, and then I'm going to start all over from where we left off. So we will be right back.